In case you needed another reason not to buy the new up-and-coming Dead Rising Remastered, they are now cutting content from the game for being offensive. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and yes, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster cuts erotica genre from photography minigame, and I know, we're gonna be talking about how they're removing a minigame that allows you to take photos of ladies' naughty parts, sensual stuff, nothing that was ever like super, pornographic or anything. It's called erotica, not pornography, but regardless, cut content is still cut content, censorship is still censorship, and I know I definitely look like the type of guy that would complain about this. I mean, come on, but hear me out, because the censorship issue, especially in the modern day gaming, space, is a problem. So we're gonna go over this article. Before we do, hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel who covers nerdy news almost every day, and yeah, Capcom has been just dropping the ball. They've been dropping the ball for years now. Capcom has gone all in on ESG. It is plastered all over their website. You can absolutely take a look at it. They're not trying to hide it. They're very forthcoming with the fact that they take these modern day Western values very seriously, despite the fact that it will continue to be a hindrance to individuals taking them seriously, and eventually be a hindrance to their actual sales. I get it. Resident Evil 4 Remake sold very well. Dragon's Dogma, I'm sure, sold well. Street Fighter 6 definitely sold well. But you can't coast off that as the gaming atmosphere, as the industry, and as the actual customers trudge further and further into actually rejecting this modernity. It really is insane. Capcom recently teased details for their Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, but content is being cut from the game, the erotica genre, from its photography minigame. The original Dead Rising will let you take photos to get bonus prestige points, PP, out of 5 photo genres. The erotica genre would reward you for taking suggestive photos of human females or even zombie females. Now, guys, the Dead Rising games, they're not horror games. They're not Fatal Frame. They're not Silent Hill. They're not Resident Evil. Like, yeah, there's zombies in it, but they're really comedy games at the end of the day. They're comedy action games. You literally put chainsaws, you duct tape chainsaws to shopping carts and run through hordes of zombies. There's not even like a deep story or anything. I don't know if you guys ever played the games. Frankly, I think the first one kind of sucks. Dead Rising 2, really awesome, and 3 was alright. They went a bit too photorealistic with it, but the first one, yeah, it got the ball rolling, but it really isn't that good of a game. I also don't really like Frank West as a character, I'm being honest. I know I might get some heat here from Dead Rising fans, but look, what can I say? I used to be a Capcom simp, so even though it wasn't my jam, it wasn't my biggest game, I still played it. I still enjoyed it for what it was. We definitely don't need a remaster, especially not in today's modern climate, and especially not if they're going to be cutting content that was there in the original game, especially because a lot of times when things like this happens, the original versions end up getting delisted or removed, and you have to rely on having physical copies. I mean, that just happened with the Doom 1 and 2 remasters on Steam. You can now, assuming reports are correct, I admittedly have not checked into it myself, but assuming reports are correct, you can't actually get the original version of Doom now because the new Doom 1 and 2 remaster is out on the market. And if you already had a copy of the original Doom on Steam, the remaster, and you buy the Doom 1 and 2 remaster, it auto upgrades, so you lose anything and everything that was part of the original Doom. So, and there's been changes like, musical differences, changes to your save data, things to that effect. So, yeah, while Doom has nothing to do with this Capcom censorship issue, I'm just trying to make the point that whenever you see updates like this and new versions, deluxe editions, definitive editions, frankly, they're not definitive at all, because you're not defining anything when you cut content. If anything, you're charging, I don't know if it's going to be full price or not, but even if it's not, let's say it's $50, you're charging $50 for, yeah, sure, prettier graphics, the ability to play it on a modern console, but you're removing so much else that you're not giving a definitive product. You're giving a product that is lesser. No amount of better graphics, especially for a cheesy B-movie zombie game, is worth better graphics to begin with. A recent preview for the new Deluxe Remaster, which is being hyped up as the definitive version of the game, with its improvements and better visuals, has confirmed the erotica genre from the photo minigame has been cut via Famitsu. While some may bemoan the feature from the original 2006 game, No one was bemoaning it in 2006, by the way, because we didn't care back then. We were an honest people. We were God's people. And, yeah, we knew that it was a fucking video game. We took the pictures, we took the upskirt shots, we had our giggles, and we moved on to more zombie slaying action. Yeah, no one gave a damn about it. And frankly, I don't even think Dead Rising is a big enough IP and it has enough clout behind it for even, like, internet SJWs to throw a fit about it. Like, oh, yeah, they can throw a fit all they want about, the sexism in Legend of Zelda and whether Link is actually trans or not. Like, yeah, because Legend of Zelda is a household name. It's a massive title. It's big. Everyone knows it. You can make the same argument for Sonic or Mario or Halo or honestly even Resident Evil. But you can't really do that for Dead Rising because it was always pretty niche to begin with. It was made for a very specific type of game fan, a very specific type of Capcom fan. And yeah, so I could be wrong, but your boy was on the internet in 2006 a lot. I was practically raised by it, frankly, super unhealthy. But yeah, by God, it made me the man I am today, and you love that man, don't you? Yeah, no one was caring about it then. No one has cared about it since because it was too niche for these, fake online activists to care about. And now, because Capcom is caving to the modern audience that doesn't exist, lo and behold, we're going to get a lesser version of a game that shouldn't even exist. And this is already after the announcement that there are race swaps in the in the villainous characters, in the psychopaths. So yeah, that's just that now 2 strikes. And I'm gonna be real, the first strike was enough. You don't really get 3 from me, but I'm sure for those that are still holding out some semblance of hope, there will be a 3rd strike to come. Just what you wait. Many felt like it added to the absurdity of the horror comedy game, as it let players experience a bonkers B-tier zombie story in an open-world mall playscape. And that's what these games are. I mean, at the end of the day, the Dead Rising games are every B horror movie from like the 80s that you've ever seen, with lots of, there's a gratuity is abound in these games. Not just like gratuitous sex and whatnot, because again, there's really not there. It's sensual, but it's not really sexual. But gratuitous violence, gratuitous gore, gratuitous swearing. It's played for comedy. There's in no way, shape, or form anyone that takes these games seriously, but that's not enough for Capcom. Capcom has to go out there and prove that they are embracing this fake modern audience, to prove that we hear you. We reject what we used to do not even 20 years ago. We reject the people we used to be because, my God, we were so awful. How we have now seen the error of our ways. We are Capcom, the feminist company. To add to the absurdity of the game's original photo mode, the other genres included horror, zombies and graphic violence, outtakes, silly events or scenes, drama, dramatic events, especially from survivors, and brutality, death of zombie or survivors. And then it goes on to tell you when the game's coming out, which frankly I couldn't care less about. No, what I do care about is that we are seeing from these companies, specifically these Japanese companies, a move further and further to Western style, ESG, Western style values, where what made these games so great was that they were intrinsically Japanese. Even though they took place in America, Resident Evil takes place in America, Dead Rising takes place in America, they have a Japanese feel to them because they use Japanese humor, or because they use a very just non-Western style of gameplay and storytelling. It's very obvious that this game was made by Asians over in Japan who just love doing silly, zany, wacky things. And if you ever watched anime, their version of humor, very different than humor in our Western cartoons, for example. And that's what you get when you play these games. And what makes them Japanese is being just excised from the product in favor of these Western dominant mentalities. That's a fad that's going to die off. There's also going to date your game. If you're not proud of what you worked on in the past, then why are you even re-releasing it? If you don't have enough pride in your original work to remake it without changes, then what is the point? Who is this for? Because it certainly isn't for the original fans. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about the absolute failings of the video game industry, but yeah, that's happening a lot lately, so just take it for what it is, because that's what the next video is about as well. But hey, it's also anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos I react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course, get involved with over 80 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity, but only one kind of diversity of thought. If that sounds interesting to you, hit subscribe, join the Discord, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.